I have fought primals, I have fought villains, I have even watched a grown man wearing a wedding dress, but honestly I can say, I never expected to fight this in my journey through Final Fantasy XIV. I have continued into the post A Realm Reborn quest, specifically in this episode 2.1, and things really started heating up, and here's what happened. Mild spoilers throughout. You have been warned. So, due to some unforeseen circumstances, I accidentally deleted the footage of the first half of the quests in this chapter. So please enjoy this improvisation. Basically, because the Scions of the Seventh Dawn were out saving the whole world, everyone now wants to use them for their own needs. Mainly the commerce leaders in Ul'dah. But now they are basically charging us to still be at the Waking Sands where we've been this whole time. Alfie then suggests for us to move to Mordona, away from these greedy guys, but Minfilia doesn't want to leave because she has hope that her long-lost mother is still alive and will seek her here. Gaff-Dad searches all throughout Eorzea and eventually finds her and reunites her with Minfilia, who then agrees to move to Mordona and become independent of the greedy city-states that would rather use them than help them. So we go and talk to Slafborn at Revenant's Toll and tell him what we plan on doing by moving the Scions here. He shows us a new home for us, which basically is the back room of a tavern, which no offense to Tataru's little room with a couple of chairs, this is a notable improvement. I mean, how else is the Warrior of Light going to deal with the emotional trauma and PTSD without drinking heavily? And by that, I mean drinking coffee, of course, this being a PG channel. We then get a panicked call from Tataru that something has happened in Gridania. Minfilia tells us that a new primal has been summoned in Gridania. The Serpent Commander Vorsali Viscius tells us that Gridania is in danger again, but I like how I have to go around and clean up Eorzea again. Like, at this point, you guys need to be paying me at least like a yearly salary or something. I know we're doing it for out of the goodness of our heart, but Warrior of Light never sleeps. We meet Mommy Connie, Reverse Pants, and Papa Meow talking about the issue. But then we are greeted by Kupla Kop, the Moogle, who is even more panicked than a chicken walking into KFC. Kuplo explains that they serve the gods in heaven, so I guess they're angels? I mean, they have wings, right? Well, the gods started bickering, and good King Mooglymog said it was time for them to leave and enter the realm of man. But the realm of man was too far away, so the good king fashioned a rope, literally a rope to climb out of heaven. Listen, I'm not going to say that this isn't feasible because, you know, I just watched Estinian with his extra strong leg day rocket into the atmosphere, but a rope? Well, good King Mooglymog stayed behind to save Mooglekind. But the primal summon wasn't Garuda. It was good King Mooglymog himself. He was summoned, the myth made real, basically by the Moogles getting together a bunch of crystals and praying really, really hard. And poof, a primal Moogle, who is now teaching the Moogles to be super aggressive and warlike. So now we need to fight and confront this Moogle lord, but he's locked somewhere deep in the 12th woods. We talked to Sumo Wrestler here, and he says, yeah, you got to get through the magical barrier. So we go and find Kupla Kop, but then we are greeted by 3 angry Kupos. And you can tell they're angry because they all have weapons. CD steps in to put their ridiculously adorable frustrations at rest, and then they get mad and flutter off like in a super duper cute way. I may have to buy my daughters like a stuffy of these guys. Look at them, they're adorable. Well, I started guiding Kupla Kop to Thornmarch, but for whatever reason, this flying Moogle actually cannot fly and follow me. I ran away from him and I was supposed to escort him, but the little guy's out in the woods surviving alone, and the world is doomed because I left him. Well, after some mildly trivial fights, we get Kupla Kop to the entrance of Thornmarch and we attune to it, so let's get into it. I'm not gonna lie, the Moogles flying around with their hilariously small weapons was, it's hard to take it seriously. But entering it, chat told me that I should crank this jam to max, so here we go. We start killing these little guys one by one as they come, and then 2 by 2, but the music is incredible. It is so damn good. We take each one of these down as they summon their King Koopa. Look at the size of this massive dude. Holy hell. Well, he's here for about 5 seconds and he starts chunking everyone. And apparently the music is set to the tune of This Is Halloween from Tim Burton, which is incredible because that's one of Nightmare Before Christmas is one of my favorite movies. The music has words to it that are describing each one of the Koopos that I'm meeting and fighting. Anyway, this fight is incredible. Tons of moving mechanics, a slapper of a soundtrack, and we lose a couple of people due to not stacking right. But it's fine because we get them back up and move through the rest in one-shot this boss. Well, good King Moogly Mog disappears and the Moogle's guard run away. Or fly away. Koopa Cop says, hey, they'll come around after they realize that they're being fools. So we get back to Mom Connie and everybody agrees, yeah, this really wasn't a primal, but it was summoned just like a primal. Then the conclusion comes out that it has to be the Ascians. It's the evil hawk moths themselves. After we save the woods, we get some supplies sent from Gridania to more donuts. That's a good way for us to keep our new Scion hideout up and running. Minfilia says, hey, nice bro, everybody's getting ready to leave for more donuts, but you need to go and speak to Orangutan, because he's staying here to study primals. This dude's a shut-in. I'm just saying. Poor guy. Well, we hear a scream from the other room, and that's Minfilia. And I'm like, she's dead. She has to be dead. Well, here comes the Warrior of Light to save the day, and she's on the floor, still breathing, unfortunately. We get a caffeine headache, and we see what just happened. Minfilia turns around and sees a white-clothed Ascian, who apparently is just a simple emissary. They say La Brea is still alive, and that the Ascians do not die. Tataru doesn't even notice the white Ascian standing right there, only Minfilia does. Well, the Ascian tosses out some riddles like their Schnapple bottle cap, and then turns and walks away. Minfilia tries to stop them, but then the Ascian uses Dark Pulse, and it was super effective, and it procced the flinch. So Minfilia is down for the count. I sprint outside to hunt down the white-robed Ascian, because, of course, he couldn't have gone too far. And oh, he's standing literally right here, 2 feet outside of the Waking Sands.
I was standing so incredibly still that I'd become invisible to the eye.
The Ascian says, I want to see if you're truly the Warrior of Light, and then walks north. I chase, and I have to kill a bunch of demons at various spots that pop up, but like every time we enter one of these like little death circles, it says, you are being judged. Well, yeah, I stream Final Fantasy XIV on YouTube at 9:15 Eastern Standard Time on Mondays and Fridays. So yeah, I know a little bit about being judged. The White Ascian is basically saying, yeah, La Brea was our unique guy. He was a bit too aggressive, if you ask me, but the world is soon to change. And finally, we get a name, Elidibus. It's actually Elibus. Well, the magic school bus departs the station, and we go back off to see Minfilia. She says, huh, that's not foreboding at all. Well, we bring Minfilia's book to Urianger, which actually turns out to be her father's book. And I read the text on it, and it says that Minfilia's father was killed by a goobly incident and a parade. Like what? Like he was killed by a rogue goobly? Well, we get off to more donuts and officially are moving out. Now we talk to Tataru and Slathborn, but Tataru points out the outlandish man who is watching us. But clearly it's Nero. Like, he's wearing like the smallest mask. Like, I mean, the hair sends it. Like, you can't, come on, guys. Chat's over there doing their best to stop me from reading into it, but it's clearly Nero. Don't lie to me. Well, we get into the new Minfilia housing, and it looks huge. Like, look at this place. We get a rousing speech of, we are all together for Eorzea, but in bursts Urianger, because he tried contacting the students of Baldesion, the big college of education, but no one answered. Well, that means, of course, something bad has happened. We then get a cutscene of 2 Ascians talk, including Elidibus, but it seems that there is more plotting that is still afoot, and we'll find out more. All right, so this is the first major post A Realm Reborn content that we can actually see, and this is pretty amazing, actually, to see how they were able to continue the story, but to flow it into the next. We were able to revisit some of the characters we hadn't seen for a while, as well as taking down a Moogle Primal, which after stream, I had to go back and listen to the whole song because I'm a sucker for good music. It was so cool. Like, I was legit bobbing along with it, and it was stuck in my head for like 2 days after. It was interesting to see the transition out of the Waking Sands, but because I too felt like we were starting to get a bit repetitive here. There's always coming back here under the watchful eye of the Syndicate. We deal with the Primal and then we leave. Deal with the Primal and then leave. And it's like, I like that we get like our own base of operations, and one arguably that's as spacious, if not more. So now the Ascians are plotting again, and it's time for some more of their shenanigans. I've gone ahead and compiled my thoughts after putting 50 hours into Final Fantasy XIV. I know it's only baby amounts of time, but you can see how it affected me here. As always, stay caffeinated, folks.